do not get it. Baltimore wins this insane back-and-forth game. It's the third game of the season with at least 4 touchdowns and no picks for Lamar. What is it, week 10? Give him the MVP. I mean, look at his numbers compared to last year when he won his second. Better numbers across the board. More than double the touchdowns. Less than half as many picks. More yards on the ground. Baltimore gets the win. Damien Woody is here. Give me a moment to compose myself.
You need some water, brother?
No, it's not the water. It's just where do you start?
Yeah.
And I guess let's start at the end and work our way backwards. And I'm going to ask you the question you asked me last week with Minnesota. How do you miss that face mask? How?
Like, you're literally in the backfield watching. That's your job, is to watch based on the quarterback in that situation.
And we happen to have this. If you grab and pull a helmet.
You don't even have to grab it. You just hit.
It's just hit. And again, you're right. It wasn't a grab, but it was a hit and a pull enough that that's
a flag.
If I'm Cincinnati, I'm like, I can't. Now, granted, they conspired in their own demise here.
Right.
But you got to call that, and they didn't. If they do and Cincinnati gets it, there's still time for Jackson. They probably score a touchdown because Jackson's in his bag this year. But that's the look at it again where, I don't know, Burrow didn't get wild and yell, but I mean.
Come on.
And I don't love the roughing the passer calls that we get all the time, but if you're going to say you can't hit a quarterback in the head or the face, they did, and they don't call it. All right. The game itself. I mean, the level of play from Lamar at the moment, off an MVP season, how do you describe what the guy's doing?
It's just stupid.
That's it.
It's
right?
just stupid, man. It's like the plays this guy is making. This is I've never seen. He's playing his best ball right now as a passer. Mm-hmm. We all know the spectacular as far as the running ability and the spectacular plays.
Like this one that gets him down to the one.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, who's making that play? What other quarterback is making that play?
Him.
You're right. He's literally him.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, you know how y'all give out those Himothy Awards?
Yeah, that's right.
That's him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, Lamar is just he's playing as good as anyone in the league right now.
Cincinnati has to win this football game.
It's a gut punch.
They lost week 5 at home, a game they had a 10-point lead, and they played great. And Burrow, as great as Jackson plays, I got to get Burrow's numbers. Excuse me for stealing this from out in front of you. Burrow goes for 428, 4 touchdowns, no picks, and they lose this game. I don't know how they absorb this one, this gut punch. This feels like it might be an eliminator. But that's it. That's as good as you can be at 4-6. That's what they are. Am I right?
You are what your record says you are.
Okay.
And listen, Burrow has been on a heater. There's not many quarterbacks, if any, is playing better than Joe Burrow right now. Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is, Scott, they were up 21-7, driving for another score. Mm-hmm. And you know how I always talk about more teams find ways to lose games than to win them.
Yep.
Get a fumble.
Yep.
And then Baltimore really takes off from there.
A couple of 4th down calls. I'm going to ask you about them in a minute. Zac Taylor is at the podium now. Maybe he'll be asked about them. If not, you and I can chat about it when it's over. The Bengals head coach after the second excruciating loss to the Ravens this season.
You know, we lost turnover battle 1-0. I think that was a big, it was 21-7 at that point when we gave them 7 points there right there on the fumble. Had the big play. And then it kind of went back and forth from there. And there was a good football team. But we expected to come in here and win, and we did everything we could to do that. Doesn't change the fact that I'm proud. I think everybody on that field fought, gave us a chance. Lost the game on the road to a good team, and it's sickening that this has happened twice to us. That's what it is.
The Chase Brown fumble, Zach, how did that change the tempo of that second half?
Well, every time you play them, man, it's a one-score game, and whoever wins the turnover battle wins the game. And that's what it came down to.
You put so much emphasis in bringing in guys who win in big moments. Why hasn't this team seemed to have that quality?
Yeah, we got to figure that out. We got to find a way to close out these games. You know, we had our opportunity. We got down there, went for 2, and just didn't work out for us. But this team's going to continue to put us in good positions, and there's going to be a point in the season where that turns, and we'll respond the right way from this game. You got a 1-game season next week against the Chargers before the bye. And so we'll get our bodies right and get ready to go fight them.
When a team doesn't finish, is that X's and O's or how much?
I mean, finishing, there's a lot of great plays by both teams there at the end of the game. And I know that's the easy answer, but we just got to figure out a way to make that last play to win the game.
We pivot from the excruciating side of this to the jubilation in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens get the win.
I feel like when Marlowe had forced that fumble, that kind of woke us up because I feel like we were asleep throughout the whole first half, even though we scored that once, but we were pretty much flat throughout the game.
Lamar, I mean, just the emotions of this game, the wild swings, the Bengals scoring a couple times on one-play drives. What was it like just kind of riding the wave of this game?
NFL football. That's just how I looked at it. You know, that's an explosive offense. Burrow's a great quarterback. Chase is a great receiver. We knew what type of game it'd be, you know, and we came out on top. So that's all that matters.
Lamar, you often talk about having confidence in all your guys, even the guys who don't get the ball maybe as often.
Yeah.
What does it say about Tylan Wallace, what he was able to do to make that kind of play for you?
Yeah, Tylan too, man. I don't know, man. He can do it all. You know, just last year he did a walk-off punt return for us, you know, and then this game, and it was on the same sideline, and it was in purple. So I believe this is just his little magic uniform, man. He come through when them lights on, man, prime time. But shout out to Tylan, because that was wonderful. First 100-yard game, it's great. He deserved it.
Lamar, you mentioned that play by Marlon kind of woke you guys up on offense. Just what was that second half like for you to have that kind of game, back and forth, total shootout, and for you guys to come out? What was being involved in that like for you?
Like I said, just an NFL game. You know, I was telling my guys on the sideline, we got to score. If they score, we got to score. You know, that's the type of game it's going to be. We seen that from the first snap.
The tight end of the Ravens joins me now live on SportsCenter. Mark, when we came out of the highlight and Damien Woody and I started, I honestly didn't know where to start with him. I'll try to figure out where to start with you. After a game like this, how do you describe, Mark, what it's like on the field, on the bench, in the huddle, when no one can stop anyone and it's like a game of can you top this? What's that like?
Well, Scott, it was, things weren't the cleanest, especially starting off a little slow. I feel like we kind of hurt ourselves and shot ourselves in the foot, especially early on. And for us, it was just keep on believing. And I think that our team showed incredible belief in ourselves to keep on going, to keep on making plays, and just understands that, we were going to make some plays, down the road.
In a game like this, where it's 35-34, and it is just video game back and forth, you're scoring, they're scoring, Chase has got like 260-some ridiculous numbers. It's a defensive play, Mark, that I think changes the whole game. The Marlon Humphrey strip, down 21-7, and he's the guy that had the pick week 5 there when you guys are down 10 or down 3 maybe, that changes that game. How big a deal did you see that strip from him? Is it as important as I'm making it?
It's huge. It's huge. That honestly changed the game. The Marlowe punch, something that he's known for,
right.
Getting back to it. And, we have so many incredible players on our team, offense, defense, special teams. And like I said before, we're just believing in ourselves and playing hard and forgetting the rest. And things turned out tonight. It was really an awesome game.
I pride myself, Mark, about being a guy that doesn't go insane with hyperbole. I try not to be over the top, but man, your quarterback makes it pretty difficult to be measured, because the stuff this dude does on a nightly basis is just outrageous. You're playing alongside the guy. He won the MVP last year. How do you think he's playing this year?
It's incredible. That's really the only word to describe him, is incredible. He finds a way each and every week to elevate himself and to have this elite focus that nobody else has, and to will his team to win. We're incredibly fortunate to have him. He's one of one. He's doing it better than he's ever done it, and that's saying a lot. He's a 2-time MVP. He's going to win it again. He's just on the money over and over and over every week.
Just a last thought about where you all are in the grand scheme of things. The record's what the record is. You're able to win 2 ridiculous games against Cincinnati, who I think is an excellent team, but they're 4-6 because of you. You've got 7 games left. There's a long way to go. Where are you all in terms of where you hope to be in the end as a team tonight, Mark?
I think for us, it's taking it week by week. You know, we can't be up, we can't be down. We got to be able to start fast and finish fast. And you know, I think some games we've been able to do that. And you know, I think just going week by week, brick by brick, and not looking too far ahead, and just trying to stack more wins every week.
Well, slow start for your team tonight. I know that the beginning of the year, people are like, where's Mark Andrews? Well, you're back in the end zone again. You've been scoring on basically a weekly basis. Good to see you playing well. Mark, thanks for the time. Stay healthy, okay?
Thank you. Great talking with you, Scott.
Yep, I enjoyed it. Thanks so much. That's Mark Andrews, 6 for 68 and a touchdown tonight. And another MVP caliber performance for Lamar. 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. The third player with at least 24 passing touchdowns and 2 or fewer picks through 2 games, along with Drew Brees and Patrick Mahomes. Before we went to the sound afterwards, you're ahead 7-0. You take a 4th and 3 shot to Burton, a guy that was a healthy scratch last year. You're up 21-20. You take another 4th and 3 deep shot to the same guy. Both were turnovers in possession that both led to Baltimore scores. In a game like this, we could talk about the face mask that's now called on Burrow. We can talk about a million different things. This can get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
But how important did you feel like those decisions and play calls were?
I thought they were big. First of all, they're low percentage throws. You know, if I'm going to make a throw like that, it damn well is going to be the Jamar Chase. You know,
Brown had 9 catches out of the backfield, and there were throws that they were essentially saying, go ahead and take it.
Yeah, they were literally dinking and dunking, you know, down the field, just dumping it off to the running back, and he was eating that way. And then all of a sudden you get to 4th down, and then you want to take a shot and not take a shot to your number 1 receiver who was on a heater all night. That was real strange to me.
And I mean, the play calls on the second one, it was a 3rd and 2. Mm-hmm. They went deep to Chase on 3rd down, and then deep to Burton on 4th down. And again, I mean, maybe this is minutia, but I made a mental note of it at the time because this game felt like this could end up being one of these insane things, and in the end it is. And if you're Cincinnati, like after the way that first one got away, you have to win this football game. You have to.
You have to. Like,
when you don't, and you're sitting in that room and you got one before the bye, the state of mind of that group at this moment, what's it likely to be like?
Oh man, it's just like you're numb because think about it. First of all, how many teams are going to come out of the AFC? Mm-hmm. We don't know. You've been swept by Baltimore,
right?
Okay, and now you still have the 6-2 Pittsburgh Steelers who are winning games with Russell Wilson at quarterback. So, hey, it's getting late out here. It's starting to get a little late out here.
Last year, the hill that I said I'm going to die on it was Buffalo. I was like, I don't care what their record is. And I'm saying the same about Cincinnati this year. That's a really good football team.
I think if Cincinnati, no one will want to play them if they can find their way in.
How did Burrow threw for 430 or whatever? Well, we're trying to paint the picture of how they might be feeling. Jamar Chase, he can do it a whole lot more authentically. Here he is after an insane night for him, and they come up a point short.
It was overall a good day by myself, but I wish we could have had the team win.
Can you put in perspective why you feel like this team lacks a killer instinct? I mean, a couple of these games you guys have had a lead or let it really slip through your fingers. Why do you think the team is lacking that this year?
I don't think we have a lack of killer instinct. I just don't think we finish in the right way at the end. I feel like the offense had a chance to put it away. We didn't. Cam also had a chance to put the game away, and we didn't, so we let that slip short.
Do you feel like the ball should have gone to you on that final play to win the game?
Yeah, I mean, I always feel like that. As a receiver, you should want the ball, yes, but, you know, sometimes Joe don't see it, you know?
What did you think of the decision to go for 2? Is that what you expected?
Say it again?
What did you think of the decision to go for 2? Is that what you expected?
Yeah, hell yeah. I agree 100%.
A historic primetime performance, but you lead with the loss. How do you think, put all that together, played out well, not good?
Honestly, man, it's just 2 great football teams going at it on Thursday, man. And every time we play Baltimore, it's a hard fight. It's always a dog fight with Baltimore, and the game's always close to the end, so we just got to learn how to put it away, man.
The 3rd and 2, the 4th and 2, walking off the field, How frustrated are you that you didn't convert that?
I'm pissed off, of course, but that's a game of football. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't get what we want, but we got to come out next drive and execute it. Hopefully, we do better than we did last time.
Were you open on the 2-point conversion?
Yeah, I'm always open.
And what can you say? I mean, it's like we have seen it before, and I just think he took that game on his shoulders, like he does, and I appreciate the other guys, with him, look at Tylan Wallace, look at Bate, what he did, Mark Andrews, the catches that he made, and their Zay, the catches he made. The offensive line, I thought in the second half, the offensive line really did a great job in protection. It was really a group effort. I mean, Derek, the runs he made, those were tough, hard runs, tough yards, in there, and Justice as well. Justice had the screen pass that got us going there, the inside screen early. So it was definitely a group effort, but Lamar was the leader.
John, Lamar was kind of describing just the whole offense in the first half as sluggish, and then he said when Marlon stripped that ball, that really changed it. From your view on the sideline, what changed about maybe the entire team from that moment on?
Yeah. It was definitely a momentum changer. We talk a lot about momentum. Sometimes when you don't have it, you got to find a way to get it. And when you get it, you got to try to find a way to build on and extend it. It's a real thing. And then Marlon's play there was big. But offensively, we couldn't get started. We had way too many first play of the drive problems, whether it was we didn't execute great or whether we had, just pre-snap penalties that brought it back. Those kind of things were just not good. And we couldn't get started. When you can't get started, then it's hard to get anything going because you don't have enough plays to do it.
John, it's kind of tough sledding for the defense, specifically in the pass game. But what does it mean to you and those guys to be able to win this game with the defense being the side of the ball that's on the field?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. I really do. I'm proud of those guys for that because I think it's what their heart, it's the kind of heart they have. And they didn't get down. They didn't point the finger. Nobody pointing any fingers out there. But we got to get better. I mean, it's not the standard. I think I heard many guys say it. That's what the defensive guys were saying in the locker room. That's not the standard. And we've got to be much better. We've got to take pressure off our offense too. We're required to do that on the defensive side, but for them to keep fighting the way they did and find a way to win the game, that's really at the end of the day, that really is the important thing. And I'm really proud of those guys for that.
Damien Woody alongside. We're just sitting here listening to Coach and thinking on the Cincinnati side, among the long list of things that are going to bum you out, you largely hold Henry in check. 68, he did have the one touchdown, it was from the 1 yard line, but they've got so many options on offense, and it's just really, really difficult to keep them down. The concern that you have, as you expressed to me as we watched this game, Bengals hang 34 on them. That defense, what do you make of it right now?
Man, it's very leaky, particularly in the secondary, obviously. It's been a problem for the Baltimore Ravens all year long. Mm-hmm. I think, Kyle Hamilton, their great safety, goes down. It just exacerbates the issues back on the back end. And for me, when I look at the Ravens, I think the question I ask myself, can I trust them? Mm-hmm. Later on, when we get into when it really counts, late in the season, even in the postseason, can I trust them? Because this defense, this is just not going to get it done when you're playing against the elite of the elite type teams. And that's entirely reasonable because these video game type games, as you so well know because you played in them in the playoffs when it matters most, those mostly don't happen in the postseason. It's a very different sort of style of play. I will say that if I have number 8 on my team, I do think I have a chance. On this particular night, Jackson was great, so too is Joe Burrow. He has just stepped to the podium.
Yeah, I had, they gave us 0 presentation, edge droppers. So you had 2 hole players, and I just sailed it a little bit.
Going for 2 there, is that what you expected? Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, we knew what situation we were in.
How frustrating
Yeah, I'll have to see it on tape. I wasn't able to see where it went on the field, but I'll have to see it on tape.
Did you see Gesicki get held on that? Did you get hit in the face on that? I mean, they could have called a couple of things there, it looked like.
Yeah, you're not getting those calls in that situation for the most part.
Jamar just said he was open on that play. Did you see him, or what was the progression of how you wanted that play to unfold?
No, he was on the backside. I didn't get to him. I took my first read.
It seemed like there were a couple maybe potentially late hits on you that didn't get flagged. Do you feel like that's frustrating when that type of stuff doesn't happen, what you've done in this league at this point?
You know, I feel like I've never really gotten those calls, so I don't really expect that. I felt like there were a couple that were close, but again, I don't expect those.
You had the message after the Raiders game about the expectations and the standard and improving. You feel like the team responded to that, and you feel like you guys showed progress today and just didn't like the result? Or?
Didn't get the result. That's what matters.
Jamar just said, Joe, that when you and he screw up one way or another, you guys have an unspoken communication between each other. Did you sense that after 3rd and 2 and 4th and 2 tonight when you couldn't convert that?
Yeah. You know, obviously would have liked to have those two back.
The 2 losses to the Ravens, I mean, have really come down to the last minute, but in a lot of ways, you guys had these games winnable situations, whether it be Cam Taylor Ritz dropped pick, the Chase Brown fumble. How do you guys get yourself in a position where you can start finishing so these games don't have to come down to a 2-point conversion to win the game?
Yeah, we just got to make the opportunities that are there, make the plays. You know, we did in spots and we didn't in spots tonight, and that's been the story of our season. So, you know, I'm going to do everything in my power to continue to be ready for the opportunities that come, try to take advantage of them.
Has this been the most frustrating season that you've ever had, where you guys feel like you play so well and somehow don't have more wins to show for it?
Yeah, this one's been frustrating.
Javaz said it's hard for him to believe that he's playing so well and you're playing so well, and you have the record you do.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how we're playing, and then, you know, you look at Trey Hendrickson, how he's playing. Yeah, it's tough pill to swallow. But we've had our opportunities. Obviously, you know, it's tough when you feel like you're playing well enough to win and you're not.